There's a question people ask today with increasing urgency. Are unidentified anomalous phenomena, that is, UAPs, the strange lights, the impossible craft, the beings reported in encounters, the things that seem to violate the laws of nature, are they something entirely new? Or have we seen them before? Not in military files, not in leaked videos, but in ancient texts, the Bible, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the books the rabbis quietly set aside, the literature of angels, demons, giants, and beings who crossed boundaries they were never meant to cross. Let's go on a journey into a hidden world, not to prove that aliens exist, not to prove that they don't, but to ask a deeper question. What if humanity has been wrestling with these phenomena for thousands of years? And what if ancient Judaism knew exactly how dangerous such speculation could become? I'm a professor of Judaic studies. I've spent decades reading ancient Jewish texts, Hebrew Bible, Dead Sea Scrolls, Apocrypha, Pseudepigrapha, rabbinic writings. And one thing becomes immediately apparent. The Bible itself is surprisingly restrained. People often imagine Scripture overflowing with angels. In fact, there are relatively few. Angels appear, they deliver messages, they protect, they warn, and then they leave. The Hebrew word for angel is malach. Malach. It simply means messenger, basically cosmic mailmen. But they are not the focus. They are not objects of devotion. The Bible is remarkably practical. Its concerns are law, justice, covenant, care for the widow, care for the stranger, how to build a society, how to walk with God, how to love your neighbor. And then, outside the Bible, everything changes. Suddenly, there are thousands of angels, ranks of heavenly beings, cosmic wars, dark spirits, demons, giants, fallen angels, other worlds, other realms, books filled with visions of heaven, with journeys through cosmic palaces, conversations with supernatural beings. It's as if someone opened a door, and behind that door was an entire universe. Many of these books were rediscovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls. For example, the Book of Watchers, the Book of Giants, the astronomical book, as it's often called, the Testament of Levi, fragments of visions of heavenly liturgies, ancient mysteries. These works were wildly popular in the centuries before Jesus of Nazareth. More copies of some of them were found at Qumran than copies of biblical books themselves. Think about that. The people who preserved the Dead Sea Scrolls were reading stories not just about prophets, but about beings descending from heaven, beings who violated the natural order, and humanity paid the price. The key word here is boundary. Boundary. Ancient Judaism was obsessed with boundaries, not because boundaries are restrictive, but because boundaries create order. The ancient temple itself embodied this idea. At the center stood the Holy of Holies. Inside, the Ark of the Covenant. It was the throne of God. Surrounding it, the holy place, then priests, then Israel, then the nations. Each circle, each zone, a carefully ordered cosmos, holiness radiating outward, difference respected, separation maintained. The universe worked because boundaries were honored. Cross them, and disaster followed. The priest who entered the Holy of Holies improperly could die. Foreign gods invited catastrophe. Mixing categories, life and death, holy and profane, human and divine, was profoundly dangerous. Creation itself depended on distinction. Light separated from darkness, sea from land, sky from earth, order from chaos. Creation isn't just making things. Creation is establishing boundaries. And then Genesis chapter 6, the strangest passage in the Bible. 4 verses, just 4. Yet they ignited centuries of speculation.
Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown.
That's it. No explanation, no commentary, no details. But later Jewish writers became obsessed. Who were these sons of God? Were they angels? Kings? Mythic beings? The Book of Watchers answers immediately. They were angels, 200 of them, led by a figure named Shemichaza, another named Asael. They descended to earth. They lusted after human women. They taught forbidden knowledge. Metalworking, for example.
And Azazel taught men to make swords, and knives, and shields, and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth, and the art of working them.
They taught enchantments. They taught sorcery.
They taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants.
They taught cosmetics, astronomy, secret arts. The result? Violence, chaos, and the birth of giants.
And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds, and beasts, and reptiles, and fish, and to devour one another's flesh, and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones.
The corruption of the world followed, and eventually the flood. But notice something remarkable. The sin isn't merely lust. It isn't simply disobedience. It is boundary violation. Heaven invading earth. The divine crossing into human knowledge. Knowledge that should remain hidden, now becoming accessible. The cosmos itself becoming disordered. And for ancient Jews, this was terrifying. We could well call it the primordial act of cosmic trespass. See, the Watchers didn't just sin. They destabilized reality, which is why Later, Judaism became extraordinarily cautious, maybe even suspicious. Don't speculate too much. Don't seek visions. Don't obsess over angels. Don't chase hidden knowledge. Just don't go there. Stay grounded. Study Torah. Care for your neighbor. Live ethically. The rabbis repeatedly warn against investigating what is above, what is below, what is before, and what is after. These are mysteries better left untouched. One rabbinic text puts it like this:
Whoever reflects on four things, it would have been better for him not to have come into the world: what is above, what is below, what was before, and what will be after.
Why? Because curiosity can become transgression. Knowledge can become trespass. The desire to know can become the desire to cross boundaries. Bottom line, the greatest danger in ancient Judaism wasn't ignorance. It was the temptation to know what was never meant to be known. Now think about that. The problem isn't curiosity. It's boundary violation. You see, the Watchers crossed boundaries. Adam and Eve crossed boundaries. Babel, in the Tower of Babel story, crossed boundaries. Nadav and Abihu also crossed boundaries.
Now Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took their respective fire pans, and after putting fire in them, placed incense on it, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from the presence of the Lord, and consumed them, and they died before the Lord. Then Moses said to Aaron, "It is what the Lord spoke, saying, 'By those who come near me, I will be treated as holy, and before all the people I will be honored.'"
The story repeats itself again and again. And perhaps, if the ancient texts are to be believed, there are realities humanity is simply not equipped to handle. Which brings us back to UAPs. Modern reports often contain curious themes: entities appearing suddenly, objects violating ordinary space, communication through dreams, telepathy, lost time, altered consciousness, interdimensional hypotheses, strange lights, encounters that are simultaneously physical and psychological. Does any of this sound familiar? Because ancient Jewish literature is filled with such experiences. Enoch is carried through the heavens. He sees impossible structures, crystalline palaces, fiery wheels, living creatures. He encounters beings that terrify him. He's shown secrets, timetables, cosmic mysteries. The prophet Ezekiel sees wheels within wheels, eyes everywhere, creatures of fire, a throne moving through the sky. The Testament of Levi describes journeys through multiple heavens.
Then there fell upon me a sleep, and I beheld a high mountain, and I was upon it. And behold, the heavens were opened, and an angel of God said to me, Levi, enter.
The Ascension of Isaiah describes passages through celestial realms, populated by increasingly strange beings. These experiences are difficult to categorize. What were they? Visions? Dreams? We talking about mysticism? Physical reality? Ancient writers themselves struggle to say what it is. And modern experiencers also struggle, which leads us to a startling possibility. either these ancient experiences were entirely fabricated, just pure imagination, legends, religious fantasy, or they describe experiences of the same broad category of phenomena that humans report today. Not necessarily extraterrestrials, not little green men, but encounters with realities that seem to exist at the edge of human understanding. Experiences that challenge ordinary categories. Experiences that feel simultaneously real and impossible. And then Jesus appears. And Jesus goes exactly where the rabbis warned people not to go. He enters the unseen war. He confronts demons. He commands spirits. He walks into haunted places. For example, we have the story of the Gerasene or Gadarene demoniac.
A man possessed by a multitude of demons lived among the tombs in the region of the Gadarenes. He possessed superhuman strength, was prone to violent outbursts, broke iron shackles, and continuously bruised himself with stones. When Jesus approached, the demons immediately recognized him as the Son of the Most High God. When Jesus asked their name, they replied, "Legion, for we are many," indicating a massive number of spirits. The demons begged Jesus not to be cast out of the region, and instead requested to be sent into a nearby herd of swine. Jesus permitted this, and the pigs rushed down a steep bank and drowned in the water.
We have Mary Magdalene, the exorcisms, the kingdom of Satan, powers of darkness. The New Testament world is absolutely alive with unseen beings. Jesus isn't portrayed just as a teacher. He's a commander. He's a warrior. He's a figure moving through an invisible battlefield. And suddenly, the ancient Enochic worldview, the world of rebellious angels, cosmic evil, heavenly warfare, returns with astonishing force. Jesus doesn't avoid the hidden world. He invades it. And perhaps that's why early Christianity embraced certain books and ideas that later Rabbinic Judaism largely set aside. One tradition says, don't go there. The other, from an ancient Christian, obviously non-Jewish perspective, says the Messiah has gone there already, and he's fighting for us. Now think of it like this. Rabbinic Judaism built fences around the mystery. The Enochians tore them down, and Jesus walked straight through them. And that may be one of the most profound religious disagreements in history. What do we do with the unknown? Protect ourselves from it? Explore it? Or confront it? But before we conclude that UAPs are angels or demons or aliens or interdimensional beings, we should pause, because ancient Judaism offers a final warning, and it may be more relevant now than ever. The fascination with hidden realities can become an obsession. People neglect ethics, neglect family, neglect community, neglect responsibility. They become consumed by secrets. Ancient rabbis feared this exactly, which is why they insisted that the center of Judaism isn't angels, it's not demons, it's not visions, it's not cosmic mysteries, it's covenant, it's law, justice, responsibility, care for other human beings. The sacred is found not in the heavens, but in how you treat your neighbor. And perhaps that's the final wisdom of the story. Maybe the universe is stranger than we imagined. Maybe ancient people really encountered realities that we don't understand. Maybe UAPs are the latest manifestation of the mysteries humanity has wrestled with for millennia. Or maybe not. But even if there are doors to other worlds, the ancient Jewish tradition asks, should every door be open? Because sometimes the greatest act of wisdom is knowing where the boundary lies and choosing not to cross it. What's our takeaway from all this? Well, the universe may be filled with mysteries, but the first mystery we are commanded to understand is ourselves. And perhaps that's why these ancient texts still matter. Not because they answer all of our questions, but because they remind us that humanity has always stood between wonder and danger, between heaven and earth, between staring into the unknown and asking, what exactly is looking back?
If you appreciated this episode, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Jews, God and History, because the past isn't dead, it's waiting.